Sun Devils got their first Big 12 win last week over Kansas in a thriller. Another home game tomorrow night. Friday night special as Utah comes to town. And here to talk about it with us, the head coach of the Sun Devils, Kenny Dillingham, checks in on the Arizona Sports Line. Good morning, Kenny. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. How are you doing?
Kenny.
Good. Congrats on the first conference win. And the way I saw it, it was a win that was filled with resilience, because I know you'll never say it, so I'll say it for you. I thought a lot of fishy stuff got called against your team late in that game, but you come out with the win. What was it that stood out most about that win for you?
Yeah, how the guys didn't get caught up in the officials. The guys didn't get caught up in the turnovers and the blocked kick. I mean, and all the bad stuff that happened. They just stayed focused on the next play. And I think that's a sign of growth for a team when you don't get distracted, you don't get caught up, and all the other stuff that's happened. You just go continue to play a football game. And I thought that's what the guys did.
You guys, for the most part, have been really, really good in these end game situations. You've been able to run out the clock on a couple of opponents. And that 2-minute offense, that 2-minute drill, you guys had that team on skates, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Royal had a good plan. And then, with the timing left, it allowed us to run the ball a little bit to kind of be, opposite of what our self-scout showed leading into the bye week. So we tried to take advantage of that. And our guys just went out there. Cam had a big run, and our guys executed. And that's really what it comes down to is our guys just went out there, and they made the play when the play had to be made.
And the bounce back at the end of the first half when Jordan Tyson with the fumble, the defense snaps into place and forces a 3-and-out and gives the ball back to the offense. And like Bick just said, I think it was a masterful job of working the clock and getting into the end zone, and that was key to that victory too, Kenny.
No question. We talk a lot about the middle eight and the last possession of the first half. I mean, it's probably one of the things I talk about the most as a football team, just because it's so valuable, because it's the only time, the end of the first half and the end of the game are the two times that you can score and the opponent doesn't get the ball back. So it's essentially a turnover. You essentially created an extra turnover in the game. So trying to keep the possession, trying to score last in the first half and limit a team's ability to counterpunch is essentially like creating another takeaway. And we harp on that. And right now it's really the only good metric we're winning when it comes to like what winning teams do. We're losing third downs. We're losing red zone. We're averaging the turnover margin again after the last 2 weeks, but we're up 44-10 when it comes to that middle eight statistic, and that's one of the biggest statistics when it correlates to winning. So we got to continue to double down on that.
Another vintage performance from Cam Scatterbo. Does this kid deserve legitimate to be in the Heisman conversation, or are we a bit early for that kind of stuff?
I mean, the kid's an unbelievable player. I mean, he runs down on kickoff. Last year he threw touchdowns. I'm glad we don't have to do that this year. He punted last year. I'm glad we don't have to do that this year, but he could. But he had a game where he had 100 yards receiving. He's had a game where he's had 100 yards rushing, multiple games. And he's so much more in control this year than he was last year. His just demeanor, his composure, his confidence without, losing his composure is just so much better. You can see his speed this year, and I couldn't be happier with how he's playing, and I'm back.
All right.
There, like nothing ever happened. It's beautiful. Kenny Dillingham
Exactly.
checking in with us here on the Arizona Sports Line. Big 12 game tomorrow with Utah coming to town. Obviously, they're one of the top teams in the conference. And going back to last year was kind of a low point of the season, the game up in Salt Lake City. Are you a coach that uses those moments as motivation for a team going into a rematch, if you will, or do you keep it up to the players to use that as motivation?
More up to the players. I mean, our players wanted, 55-3 around the building, for their own motivation. But like I said, guys, if we're always worried about how to be externally motivated, we're only going to be able to respond to failure. We got to learn how to just go get it done. We have to learn how to get in a rhythm and go get it done, not be motivated by failures. And we definitely want to, use that a little bit. But the game's about us. It's about our program. It's about our team. It's about us going to play a clean game, which we haven't done, and are going to play our best game, which I don't believe we've done yet. and it's all about us. And yes, we play a team that kicked our butt last year. I mean, it was probably the most embarrassing game I've ever been a part of, and we have a chance to avenge that. But we can only do that if we play it for the best version of us.
Now, I ask you this every week, and almost every week, it seems like your football team obliges and kind of hits the areas you want and boxes you want checked. What do you want to see this week from your football team?
Yeah, this week in particular, we have to win the rushing battle and win the turnover battle. I think when you play a team like this, they're number one in the country, and they've been a top 10 team in the country consistently in time of possession. I truly believe some of the purpose behind that is in a world where everybody wants to get theirs and everybody wants to put up their stats. They don't let your offense put up high numbers because you don't have the ball enough. It's like playing the Naval Academy back when I was in Memphis. And sometimes your offense can get frustrated. Your defense can get frustrated. And I think the key to us is, can we win the ground game, right? Can we mitigate time of possession so not get rattled by their ability to hold the ball? Don't get focused on, do I have 2 catches or 7 catches? Because you're probably going to have 2 because you're not going to have many possessions. Right. And then win the turnover battle. If we can do those things, win the rushing battle, mitigate time of possession, and which nobody talks about anymore, and then win the turnover battle, I feel really good.
On the Utah side of things, there's still some uncertainty on who the quarterback is going to be, whether it's Cam Rising, who's been out, and a lot of mystery on his availability, whether it's going to be Isaac Wilson. I know you said earlier in the week, Kenny, that you're preparing for Utah, not for a quarterback. But I was going to ask you the difference that Cam Rising makes in that team. What is it specifically through your eyes that he brings?
I mean, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in college football when he's been on the field for multiple years. So he just brings a veteran leadership. He brings somebody that's really, really comfortable back there who's kind of seen it all. Like, you're probably not going to pressure and rattle Cam Rising. He's seen all the pressures. He knows where to throw hot. He knows how to get it out. He knows when you're bluffing from one side and you're bringing it from the other because the mannerisms of the pressure backer. Like, he's seen it. So I think that's the biggest difference is you're probably not going to play the gotcha game with Cam Rising on the field. You're going to have to go challenge them and beat them when Cam Rising's on the field, whereas you may play a little more, hey, can we show, a younger quarterback different pictures that he maybe hasn't seen yet in the live setting. And you may be able to get him, maybe not. I mean, Isaac's a really smart football player as well. His brother obviously plays with Bo Nix, which is a whole nother for the Broncos. So he's a smart guy as well. So it is a big difference. But at the end of the day, they're a run-play-action football team. If they can run the ball, it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback.
Well, let's take a moment and talk about your quarterback. Sam Levitt showed a lot of poise at the end of the game. Loved that touchdown pass to win it. Your thoughts on his development and where he's at?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a dog, for lack of a better term. I mean, when the game's on the line, you want the ball in his hands. He's the dude that if he played basketball, you would have to tell him after a timeout on the game-winning shot, hey, you have to pass this ball. This is designed to pass the ball. Do you understand me? It's designed to pass the ball. Otherwise, he's going to catch the ball, he's not going to give it up, and he's going to shoot. And that's what you want as your quarterback. You want the dude who wants the freaking ball, and that's what he wants. And there's never a waver. There's never a flinch. He loves those moments. And I think that's the best way to describe him is he's that guy. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't blink. He wants the ball.
Kenny, best of luck tomorrow night.
Of luck,
Hope
man.
it's another raucous crowd out there on a national television game for you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, one thing on that, I appreciate the crowd. I mean, that crowd was a game-changing crowd. Even after into the game, Jake Plummer waits 45 minutes to talk to me after my press conference to say, man, the energy in this place just feels different. That's what it's supposed to feel like. I haven't felt this in years. And to have a legendary guy like Jake Plummer mention that felt right, that he hasn't felt that, I think that just goes to the Activate the Valley call that this can be really, really fun to go watch Sun Devil football games. And let's sell this place out. Let's get a crowd. Let's make it loud. It's a blackout, even though we're in maroon jerseys. And it is what it is. I can't help you. I didn't know about it either. Let's go make it happen.
Thanks, Getty.
Good shout out. Rally around the Sun Devils, folks. See you, Getty.
Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Sun Devils, joins us on Fridays here on the Arizona Sports Line.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.